when we're talking about HSS specifically, the most common connection I see out there is, of course, welding. And in this situation, you don't have to weld at all. So you don't have to worry about the hot work permits or having that skilled labor out there in the field. Now, you might be, welding on a connection plate, but you do all of that in the fabrication shop once again. All that you need from us in the field is to use standard hand tools. Other common ways of connecting to HSS, I've seen like brackets and strapping where you'll have like a plate on one side and then one on the opposite and then have some bolts going through, but the bolts are on the outside. We have different head styles. So if you're looking, that's sort of an ugly looking connection, if you will. We have different types of products that are architecturally pleasing. But the other big method would be through bolting down here in the lower left-hand corner. The only problem with through bolting is AISC does allow for it, but it's only a shear bearing application only. Specifically, our products, which are blind fasteners, are mentioned specifically in the AISC Part 7 of the manual. These expand within the section, so we're not doing through bolting. But if you are through bolting, another thing you have to consider is, depending upon how big and thin that HSS is, just getting that bolt up to the proper torque tends to want to collapse the section as well, where you're avoiding that with us because you're just attaching to the face of that HSS. And lastly, one of the other things AISC mentions is, you can drill and tap, but the only problem is if you're in the middle of the member, then you're cutting out access holes just so you can get either the nut behind there or you're just directly tapping into the section itself. But what happens if things don't line up by the time you get out there? You can't exactly ream out a tapped hole. So the Hollo-Bolt really fulfills that unique niche of having a purely mechanical attachment to HSS.